Okay, so this is going to be the first of a couple tutorials that I'm going to be posting on the Ko-Fi. One of the biggest things people have asked me about Shifter was the faces. Now you'll know the faces aren't really traditionally done. They look like they're hand-drawn and animated, which you see pretty much all of the characters in Shifter have that. All of the characters in Shifter use that sort of method, or use this method. And the way this works, it's really simple actually. It's not as complex as you would think it is. So I'm going to delete this object, and I'm going to add a grease pencil, a blank grease pencil. So now that I've got this grease pencil object, the way that grease pencil works is, I'm just going to drag this over to the side here. Is when you press Control Tab, you have all these options, and draw mode is one of them. And I'll set this to origin. And what this does is this lets you to draw things in 2D in the 3D space. I'm on a mouse right now, so there's not much I can really do. But you get the idea. Pretty cool, right? Draw this happy guy. Now look at that. And this is the method I use for the faces. So, if you go into your timeline here, or more so the dope sheet, and then go over to your grease pencil object, or options, bring this back to the start, this keyframe. If I go somewhere else, and if I have, in the timeline, if I have auto keying on, like that, so turn this on, make sure this is blue and red. Say I want to change this one frame, right, for lip syncing. I will draw the same face, except the mouth is now open. And you'll see once it hits that 5th frame, or whatever, it changes. So this is the basics for all of Shifter. Obviously I'm drawing with a mouse, so this isn't really exquisite. And if you just want to update something on this face instead of having to completely redraw it, you can click this and press Shift D to create a duplicate of that frame. Go over to your eraser, and you can just redraw it, and it will update like that instead. Say I wanted them to blink for 2 frames. Ain't that swell. So that's the basics on how to control grease pencil. I'll explain some more when we need to. But now, I want this to be part of the head. And so, what I'll do is you can move this up there if you want, but you don't really need to. It just needs to be somewhere close to it. If I click on the grease pencil object, then I shift click the armature, or skeleton, if you have one. Press Control Tab, click on your head bone, and Control B, and then Control P, and then parent that to your bone object right there. So if I drag this into the same collection, it should disappear. Nice. So now this is linked to your head object. I'm gonna hide the bone for a while I'm drawing. Yeah, when you're drawing the faces, I like to have the rig hidden, just because it gets in the way sometimes when you're drawing. With this selected, go back into draw mode, and then over here, instead of origin, you want to have to set to surface, and have to set to a decently low value, but nothing too low, so like 0.01 works. And what this will do is this will draw directly onto the surface. So if I go into shader view, just so it sees a little bit easier, so I can draw that on him, and you'll see because of the surface thing applied, it draws directly on. And because we parented it to the rig, it moves with it. Now this is the basics of all you really need to know for this kind of thing. Obviously this is targeted towards people who have intermediate knowledge with Blender, so I didn't go over many basic things. You should know this is for after rigging and modeling. But yeah, this is good if you have characters who are quite like cartoonish and they have really exaggerated facial expressions, and you don't have to deal with the sort of Gmod facial expressions that you'll end up having. This is a really good workaround. It also looks really nice, and people said this was the thing they liked most about the visuals of Shifter, so I'm definitely going to keep this. You guys can use this. It's a very common technique. You can use this on literally anything. Also, you can use grease pencil objects, so sometimes in my scene, like to draw effect, I'll add another one. And so this is how I did the portal. Oh, right, important stuff for doing this. If you want another color, you'll have to go over to the Material tab when you have the grease pencil selected. Press plus, new, name this to whatever color you want, so I'm going to go blue. And then down here, you'll have to change the stroke for it. So now I can go ahead and draw a little blue circle. And if you want to fill it in, you'll note the fill tool doesn't really work. It is really meticulous with this. There are two ways you can go about doing this. Either, either you make a new material, call it blue fill, and it will be the exact same color, except instead of doing it under the stroke layer, you want to turn that off and turn on fill, and then just color pick whatever you had last time, and now it will work. Ta-da! And also when you draw with it, it will do that. So that's the other option. You can draw with the fill tool with a normal brush, but it can be a bit wacky. It doesn't work. I don't think it works well with colored surfaces, or not with colored surfaces, with like curved surfaces. So like, say for example, I'm just gonna use blue for now. If I wanted to do it there, I'll notice this clipping because it's just a flat thing. Like the fill tool doesn't really know what to do, so it's clipping through the eye. So you'll see sometimes I'll just draw it like that because it'll look nice. It looks nicer. Yeah, that's all there really is to this. Hopefully you found this useful. Just a little thing. You won't really. This is free, and even if you don't pay for it, you can have access to this because this is a really basic thing. I might do something a little bit bigger though at some point. But yeah, really quick. Hopefully you found this useful. Yeah, see ya.